L to the D to the B to the C. This is your boy, The Coach, and you're live on The Coach's Show, The Coach's Show Live. Woo, buddy. The question is Jake Paul good for boxing? Is he? The answer to this is yes and no. He is good for boxing, and he can be bad for boxing and MMA. I'm going to go ahead and explain what it is that the coach is talking about. He's good for boxing because what he's doing is he's bringing a lot of new fans into the sport. You can't deny that because, the man has millions of followers on YouTube, and these followers are actually, buying pay-per-views. They're paying. They're paying to mess with him, okay? They're paying the pay-per-view money to actually see this guy. And some of them are not buying pay-per-view. Some of them are streaming it. But no matter what, he's still got people. He's got his followers. They're still supporting him on a whole different arena, on a whole different venue now. It's boxing. They're supporting him. You see, what Jake Paul has done is he's come into a sport, completely just unknown to the sport. He's come into it. He's gotten his followers to support him in this sport, and he's actually doing what boxers should be doing. Now, has he fought any legit boxers yet? No. He hadn't fought a legit boxer yet. Not yet. He's fought some MMA guys. That's probably about as most legit as he's going to get. However, though, the thing of it is that he's promoted these fights better than any of the fighters I see. He's promoted these fights extremely well. And the reason why he's so good at promoting, his time on YouTube definitely helps him with fight promotion. This man ain't got to hire a promoter to do. He don't have to do that. He's doing his own promotion. Doing a damn good job of it. I mean, I don't know. Did you watch it? I don't care if you bought the pay-per-view. I don't care if you streamed it. Did you watch? Jake Paul is bringing a crazy amount of new viewership to boxing. And these are people who would normally be boxing fans. Now, this is a double-edged sword. Because now you're going to have every YouTube celebrity, every YouTube person, every nerd sitting on the chair now. Now they're going to believe, hey, if Jake Paul can do it, I can do it. I can step in there. But what's going to happen when Jake Paul faces a legit boxer, like somebody who's actually got boxing skill? He's probably going to end up losing. He's probably going to end up getting his ass whooped. And it's okay because we expect him to. I mean, Jake Paul isn't an experienced fighter. I mean, he's boxed for a couple of years, about 2 or 3 years, and he's been in the gym really working at being a good boxer. And he's actually, I think he's doing quite well. For somebody with 2 to 3 years experience in the sport, and that's what he's been doing. He's been in the gym constantly, getting better at it. I think Jake Paul performs very, very well, if you ask me. I mean, I thought he did well, and I think that he's getting better every fight. Okay, I'm not a Jake Paul fan. I'm looking at what I see. Okay, he's good for the sport because he's bringing a lot of new people into the sport. And the sport of boxing, they have themselves to thank for this. You see, because these guys won't fight each other, so now you got a YouTube celebrity, you got a Disney star now. You got this guy right here on the screen, this popcorn Pop-Tart fart looking ass dude on the screen. You got him on the screen now. And basically, he's one of the most talked about people in boxing. And it's because the fighters who need to be, being talked about, they won't fight each other. That's why. See, what happens is, when the sport of boxing, when the fighters don't fight each other, when you got the Devin Haney's and the Tank Davises, and you got the Ryan Garcias and the Teofimo Lopez's, when these guys, they don't face each other, okay, or when you had the Anthony Joshua that didn't want to face Deontay Wilder, when you have all these fights that could be on the table, the Spence and Crawford, when these guys are out of their prime and they're fighting each other, like Amir Khan and Kell Brook, they're going to fight each other out of their prime. See, what happens is that it devalues the sport of boxing. It begins to devalue. And guys like Jake Paul can come in and just collect a huge bag because they know that these guys aren't going to fight each other. They know. So what does Jake Paul do? What does Logan Paul do? They come into the sport. They make a bunch of noise. They're bringing their supporters. Their supporters, hey, we're going to come in. We're going to do some boxing, And their supporters are happy about this. They're going to cheer them on. And see, now you have something trending. I tell you what, there are going to be more YouTube stars that step into the ring. There are going to be more YouTube stars that step directly into that ring, and they're going to box too. It's going to become something trending where the real fighters, the people who actually who fight for a living, and this is their bread and butter, They're not going to be recognized. They won't be recognized because boxing is still going to be doing this dumb shit, like trying to, let the fight marinate for years. They arguing over money and purse bids and all this other stuff. This is what they're arguing over instead of making the fights. Okay, instead of actually making the fights, make the fights. No, boxing don't want to do that. It takes 6 years, man, now for a fight to really, when they talk about it, the fight to marinate. And here's an example. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. Y'all know we've been talking about these dudes since they was 19 and 20. And now these guys are 23. We've been trying to build a fight for these guys for them to fight for 4 years, y'all. Like, we legit been talking about them fighting for 4 years. So Jake Paul's like, well, these guys ain't fighting. Okay, fine. See, this is good. It's kind of good for MMA and it's bad for MMA. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so MMA is going to benefit from this because guess what? Jake Paul is calling out MMA stars. He's calling them out. He's calling out people who are in the UFC. Now, we know that as long as these fighters are under contract for the UFC, they can never fight Jake Paul. They can't do it. However, I'm going to tell you why it's good for MMA and I'm going to tell you why it's bad. It's good for MMA because the MMA fighters now, they already fight each other. And so you're going to have more fans, whoever Jake Paul called out, these new fans of his that's looking at boxing, they're going to go and in turn watch the people that Jake Paul is calling out. So he's going to inadvertently help MMA. Jake Paul is. The bad thing is, though, when Jake Paul is knocking out MMA legends like Tyron Woodley, I'm talking about just knocking them out. You had a damn Disney star, a YouTuber, guy 3 years ago, didn't even know how to lace up a pair of gloves, come in and knock out a former welterweight champion. Guys, it looks bad. It looks real bad. I mean, he put Tyron Woodley to sleep. It looks real bad. And it's making it seem like that every single win that Tyron Woodley had, even though boxing and MMA are two different sports, people are going to begin to question that. People are going to begin to question the skill sets and what these guys are learning in gyms. So you got the trainers who teaching these guys how to stand up in MMA. Their legitimacy is going to be questioned. All of that's going to be in question now when you got a guy training for 3 years, a Disney star, can come out, get off the couch in 3 years and just learn how to box and knock out a former, welterweight champion. Okay? It's good and bad for MMA. Okay? While MMA is getting this attention because he's knocking out MMA fighters, it's going to be good. But if he keeps knocking out legends, that's not going to be good. And you guys catch my drift. Y'all understand where I'm coming from. If Jake Paul keep knocking out MMA legends, it's not going to be good. Okay? And Jorge Masvidal, he was kind of smart about it. I don't think Jorge Masvidal want to box this dude. Matter of fact, I know he don't. Jorge Masvidal don't want to box this dude. Okay? He can't box him anyway. But Jorge Masvidal's response, it was crazy. He was like, well, you don't bring nothing to the table. I mean, you don't bring nothing to the table. You're not a draw. You're not this. You're not that. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, Jorge, yeah, he kind of is sort of a draw. I mean, he's got a buzz. And actually, if Jorge Masvidal and Jake Paul fought each other, that'd be a huge fight. It'd be huge. But, it's not going to happen. And I don't think Jorge Masvidal will fight him. I don't think he'll risk his legacy possibly being knocked out by Jake Paul. Could you imagine the BMF champion being knocked out by a Disney star, Jake Paul? Guys, y'all understand, like, it's going to question every single bout that these guys have ever had inside the octagon. It's going to question that. Even though we know that Jake Paul couldn't deal with these guys in the octagon. I mean, he got some power now. If he caught one of them guys before they can take him down, yep. He probably could to an extent if he can catch him, but more than likely, Jake Paul would get wrestled to death and somebody would choke him out because he don't know no submission defense. He don't know how to check kicks. Jake Paul would probably get submitted and put to sleep. Okay. But boxing has done this to itself. Spence and Crawford, because they don't want to fight each other. They don't want to fight each other. Well, Jake Paul said, okay, let me go ahead and let me steal spotlight. You got Saul Canelo Alvarez. He don't want to fight. They don't want to fight. He don't want to fight the Charlos. He don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade, okay? Well, guess what? Jake Paul said, okay, I'll steal that spotlight. Because when these guys, the boxers, don't fight, they fight these tune-up fights all the time, nobody's going to watch that crap. But do you believe, how many people, you think more people will watch Jake Paul fight Tyron Woodley? Or, Saul Canelo Alvarez fight somebody named Yildirim? Like, seriously. Okay, do you think somebody's going to watch, Devin and Dream Haney fight a tune-up fight, or do you think they're going to watch a spectacle? The people are going to watch a spectacle, y'all. They're going to watch a spectacle. And see, boxing can only return, but now the fights that these guys have, they have to be legacy fights. These guys got to fight legacy fights. They got to stop fighting all these damn tune-up fights. Now you got Keith Thurman out of his prime. He's trying to return back to the ring, but it's too late. Keith Thurman, he never fought Errol Spence, okay? Never fought Errol Spence. He fought Manny Pacquiao because he thought Manny Pacquiao was a mark, and Manny Pacquiao thought Keith Thurman was a mark because Keith Thurman looked bad in his fight before he fought Manny Pacquiao. But Keith Thurman took the risk and got beat by Pacquiao. I mean, and all Keith Thurman had to do to keep his legacy intact was to go ahead and fight Errol Spence. Nope. Come on, man, you gotta, Errol Spence, he gotta earn his stripes, He gotta earn stripes. He ain't earned no stripes. He hadn't earned his stripes, and I'll murk that boy. He got to earn his stripes. Great baby. That's Keith Thurman. That's him, folks. This truly isn't good for boxing, but it really is good for boxing. The only thing is, the people who actually fight, the people who actually box, is bad for them. But the people like that are YouTube stars, this is good. This is a huge moneymaker. It's huge. It's incredible. Because the market is open for these YouTube people or these celebrities to be boxers. The market is open for it now. It's right here. It's in your face. It's in your face. And unfortunately, the boxer. I mean, damn, you got real professional fighters on an undercard to Jake Paul. And Claressa Shields like, well, I'm not going to fight on the undercard to Jake Paul. You ain't going to have a damn choice. I mean, honestly, if you get a payday, you can say, well, I ain't going to do it. But nobody knows, Claressa. You're not a draw. You're not a draw. And it pisses people like Claressa off. It pissed them off because in her head, she like, I've been dying and sweating and killing myself to get these medals in the Olympics. And I've been doing this. And then this dude can come in here and his first thing, create a spectacle and make money. And you got real boxers on the undercard. It pissed a lot of them off. And I get it. But see, you don't get to be pissed off. You as a fighter, you don't get to be pissed off if you are not fighting legacy fights. You don't get to be mad at Jake Paul. You can't be mad at Jake Paul. What are you mad for? What? What? Because he's out here, he's making his money? What you mad at KSI for? What are you mad at him for? Because he's making his money? You guys can make the money, but hell, y'all too busy BSing around instead of fighting each other. You fighters in this era, y'all full of shit. Y'all full of it. Guys, I'm still looking at videos. I'm still looking at videos of people still doing fight breakdowns with Spence and Crawford. Guys, in MMA, we do fight breakdowns one time, a couple times, and then a couple of months later, we watching the fight. Jake Paul capitalized on, you know what he did? He said, I'll fight these MMA guys because they want to fight. It's not hard, y'all. It's not hard. But the fighters, the boxers ain't figured it out. They scared to lose man, what? Who cares? You fight for legacy, and then the notoriety come. But, man, they just, Tank Davis. Everybody saying Tank Davis is a star. Tank Davis ain't no star. He ain't no star. He ain't no draw. He ain't no draw. When the casual fans know Jake Paul. Hell, I know middle school kids that know Jake Paul. Hell, there's some middle school kids that watch the fight. The Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul, they watch the fight. Middle school kids, this guy, it's crazy, man. And boxing ain't learned a lesson yet. That's okay. When boxing becomes saturated with these type guys, and it's coming, it's slowly coming, but boxing gonna be saturated, and every headliner, it's gonna be a YouTuber. Boxing, y'all done fucked up now. Oh.